In a quiet village surrounded by the west side of Africa, the rhythms of life pulsed strongly, connected deeply with the earth and the sprawling sky. Here, a young girl named Amina lived with her mother, Layla, in a modest mud brick home. Their days were filled with laughter and love, each moment woven into the next like the beautiful tapestries Layla crafted. However, the idyllic world Amina knew shattered when her mother succumbed to a sudden illness. The loss was profound. Layla was not only a mother but also Amina's guide and best friend. The village mourned, their songs of grief a haunting echo of the emptiness Amina felt. With the passing of Layla, the light in Amina's home dimmed. Her father, Jamal, a once jovial man, became a shadow of himself, lost without his partner. In his grief, he soon sought solace by marrying Miriam, a widow from a neighboring village. Miriam, stern and hardened by her own life's trials, brought her 2 children into Amina's home. They quickly filled the space with their needs, overshadowing Amina's presence. Miriam imposed strict rules and heavy chores upon Amina, treating her not as a stepdaughter but more as a servant. Each morning before sunrise, Amina was expected to fetch water from the river, tend to the livestock, and help prepare meals for the family. The chores stretched throughout the day, leaving her little time for rest or schoolwork. Quicker, Amina. No dawdling, Miriam would snap as Amina tried to catch her breath after hauling a heavy water jar on her small shoulders. If Amina was slow, or if Miriam was in a particularly foul mood, a harsh word was not the only reprimand. Sometimes, it was a swift, stinging slap across her back or arms. The physical toll was immense, but the emotional pain of being treated so harshly in her own home was even more devastating. Amina often felt like a stranger in the place where she had once felt so loved. Her own room, which she once shared with her mother, now belonged to Miriam's children, forcing Amina to sleep on a thin mat in the kitchen. Despite the hardships, Amina remembered her mother's teachings about strength and resilience. Her mother had often told her, "Pain is like the rain, Amina. It may be harsh, it may be cold, but it nourishes the soul. And after the rain, the earth is more beautiful, more giving." Holding on to these words, Amina sought solace where she could. The river, a place of chores, became her sanctuary. It was there, on one particularly hard day, that she found Tumbo, the injured bird. His wing was badly hurt, and he chirped weakly, his eyes dull with pain. Amina saw a reflection of herself in Tumbo, a creature, small and hurt, but alive and desiring to fly. Caring for Tumbo became Amina's secret joy. She would rush through her chores to spend a few precious moments by the river, nursing Tumbo back to health. She shared her thoughts with him, whispered her fears, and felt, in his recovery, a hope for her own. Miriam's discovery of Tumbo and Amina's care for him brought things to a head. Her stepmother's rage at finding Amina by the river with Tumbo was fierce. Why waste time on this useless creature when there's so much to be done? Miriam had yelled, her hand raised as if to strike Tumbo. But Amina stood up, blocking the blow. Her voice, though shaking, was firm. "He is not useless. He is my friend, and I will not let you hurt him." This confrontation was a turning point. Miriam paused her hand in midair, surprised by the defiance. For the first time, she looked truly at Amina, saw her not as a burden, but as a being full of spirit and courage. It was a long moment, filled with tension, but it ended with Miriam lowering her hand and walking away. From that day, things slowly began to change. Miriam's treatment of Amina was never warm, but it became less cruel. Amina's courage in standing up for Tumbo, and for herself, earned her a grudging respect from her stepmother. As Tumbo's wing healed and he began to flutter and hop, so too did Amina's spirit lift. When the time came to release Tumbo, it was a bittersweet moment. She watched him soar into the sky, his flight a dance of freedom and resilience. Amina felt a profound connection to the world around her, strengthened and emboldened by her journey. Years later, Amina grew to be a respected figure in her village, and her story of the bird who taught her to fly was an inspiration to all. She became a voice for those who felt powerless, a leader who encouraged others to find their strength, just as she had.